Garrett Barry. He is there on the ground for us this morning. So, Garrett, good morning to you. We just heard from the Premier. What is the latest you can tell us about the situation there in Newfoundland?
Thanks very much, Marcia. Well, it was, I guess, after so many consistent updates and so many consistent updates where evacuation notices and orders grew, it was a little bit of good news, I guess, today, insofar as there's no new areas of this city of St. John's or the surrounding cities, Mount Pearl, CBS, under an evacuation order or notice. Still, though, there's 20,000 people still being told that they need to get ready. They need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. They're on high alert as that Paddy's Pond wildfire still burns. It's really at the doorstep of the city. It's in an area that is one of the first landmarks you'd see leaving the city if you're traveling on the Trans-Canada Highway, which is, not the only way out of St. John's, but certainly the most popular way out of St. John's. While the wildfire is burning, it hasn't grown significantly overnight, which was a little bit of welcome news. And the other bit of welcome news is that there's more help on the way. The province has secured another couple of air assets, two coming from Utah, in fact, Black Hawk helicopters, along with some others from across the country. The part of the reason why that's so important, those two from the United States of America, is that they have the capacity to fly at night, and they have the capacity to fight fires overnight, which is something that the standard fleet here in Newfoundland and Labrador does not have. They fly under visual flight rules. They can't fly in the middle of the night. So the other big bit of news that we heard this morning from the Premier was there's going to be, or there is probably as of now, a ban on the use of off-road vehicles, including ATVs, in forested areas around the province. That is in place until this Sunday. It's the latest news that we've heard so far. It could be extended, but of course officials hope that they don't have to, and maybe this fire season might be brought a little bit more under control. It's somewhat notable, of course, it's following the footsteps a little bit of other provinces of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick that have further increased restrictions into forested areas in order to try to stop the spread of wildfires. Premier John Hogan spent a little bit of time earlier this week telling reporters and telling the province that it was going to be hard to take that step here because so many people, especially in rural parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, use ATVs, off-road vehicles, for daily life, getting to work, going to the grocery store, going berry picking, getting food. The situation now, though, when we ask them directly what's changed, is just that the province really can't afford any more fires popping up. They're stretched to the limits. They're gone to the private market to try to find resources, extra aircraft, extra helicopters that can come fight fires, spending, I think they estimated just a few moments ago, $8 million to secure some helicopters for the next couple of weeks. It's expensive, but Premier John Hogan said he'd rather be over-inclusive and spend too much and not need it, instead of not spending enough and not getting the help that it needs right now.
With so many fires burning so intensely, I'm wondering, can you describe people's moods right now? Is there a lot of fear? Can you give us your assessment on that, Garrett?
Absolutely. And, it's totally seized. I think it's fair to say it's totally seized just about everybody in the province right now. This fire, it's burning here in St. John's, let's say. This fire is burning on the outskirts of the city. It's 2.5 square kilometers, but the smoke is just about everywhere. It's coming into the capital city. It's coming into neighborhoods. It's coming into Mount Pearl. And when you're out in it and the wind is blowing the right way, it's just overwhelming. It's so smoky. It smells so strongly. Your visibility is much poorer. 20,000 people, aside from the 20,000 people that have been told they need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice, everybody else, there's really nothing else to talk about in this city, in this province, really, other than what's going on. And people are getting updates, all over the place on social media from government sources. They've been holding these briefings once or twice a day, every day now, over the past couple of days. And a lot of that anxiety, it has turned into a serious sense of vigilance. I guess you might describe it like that. Last night, there were some reports that there were small fires in the capital city, in the downtown area, in brush areas, little tiny areas, and that type of report, that type of occurrence, is just getting so much more attention now than it would, this time last year, because of how dry it is, because of how hot it is, and because of fire is just on everybody's mind. You don't want to get in the business of saying, we never thought it would happen here, because no one ever thinks it's going to happen in their community, of course. But it is worth noting just how unseasonably hot and dry. We've been in a drought condition for probably 2 months. Farmers were telling me weeks ago that they're having to make, serious, difficult decisions. They're having to work differently because there's just no rain falling. That was weeks ago. There has been, since then, in the last 2 weeks, 11, 12 days, there has been no rain whatsoever over big parts of this province. So aside from everybody hoping for rain, hoping for a break in the heat, there was record-breaking temperatures in many parts of the province yesterday. Aside from everybody hoping for a change in temperature, everyone is also really seeing, talking about, thinking about, and a lot of anxiety about this wildfire situation right now.
Yeah, and understandably so, that it would be all-consuming, yet people are rallying around and trying to help each other out. All right, Garrett, thank you so much for all of that. Garrett Barry for us in St. John's this morning. We're going to stay in touch.